Peace, family. Welcome back to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions, man. I haven't seen this man in a while. Welcome back, brother.
Straight from the cosmos, beloved brother. I came back on planet Earth during the time of the great eclipse. I've been back down to continue the wellness salute on planet Earth, beloved brother. And I had to come back down to the portal for the black magic and on the good ship green juice. Beaming with electromagnetism to inspire brothers and sisters to be not only good, but be God.
Indeed.
Wellness salute, beloved almighty ones.
Indeed,
Brother
man.
Rich, what's good, brother?
Welcome back to planet Earth, my brother.
Oh, brother, it is so good to be back here doing the mighty work of the ancestors.
We need some help on planet Earth today, my brother.
Brother, I am here.
Not
from the planet Krypton, but from the planet Chlorophyll. From the planet Chloron. Okay, I'm here from the planet Chloron. Not Superman, but SupaNova. From the planet Chloron.
All right,
Let's do it, brother.
Listen, I was on YouTube and I seen a couple of videos that was talking about, you know, you're great when it comes to health and you've helped so many people out all over the world, and I'm sure they're thankful for it. I want to do a list, brother, a top 10 list of foods that we need to avoid.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of foods in our everyday that we're eating every day that we don't even know we shouldn't be eating.
Right.
That we may not be aware of.
Right.
That we may need help with.
Yeah.
So I need you to narrow this. I'm sure there's so many things out there, but I want to narrow this list down to 10 things that you think is so important that we're being tricked out there to eat that we really shouldn't be eating or drinking for that matter.
Right.
So
I put together based upon when you gave me the caveat, I put together a list of what I feel the top 10 we should be avoiding and some commentary on why, you know? And
definitely.
Okay, so let's go into it, brother. Number one is sugary drinks. Sugary drinks.
Now that could be vast because there's.
Well, we're about to go into it.
Is that anything but water? Is that anything?
Yeah, everything outside of water, right? Okay, so let's go into it because I got some notes too that I jotted down to each one. So I'm not going to just say it and leave you all just empty-handed. We're going to go into it a little bit. So. The notes I have is, added sugar is the single worst ingredient in modern diet, Brother Rich. However, some sources of sugar are worse than others, and sugary drinks happen to be the absolutely worst. Okay? For this reason, people don't automatically compensate by eating less of other foods. Instead, end up more drastically increasing their calorie intake. Sugar, when consumed in large amounts, this is fact, drive insulin resistance into the body and is strongly linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It is also associated with various serious diseases such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Okay? Sugary drinks are the most fattening aspect of the modern diet, and drinking them in large amounts drive fat gain to obesity. Alternatives, we definitely want to talk about drinking water. And for those that don't want the, first of all, your body is 70% water, 60 to 70% water. Okay, so when the more natural water you have in your body, the more you're in your natural state. Eating fruits and vegetables contain large amounts of water, so it's a complement to the water naturally in your body. And for those that talk about flavor, you can flavor, you can try to, I would say, like you could take something like apples, peaches, and plums, and you can soak them in some distilled water or some purified water for 4 to 8 hours in your refrigerator, and then the natural fructose inside of the fruits will be able to be absorbed in that water, and you can have. I would say you don't want to have a concentrated because even fruits have a concentrate of even natural sugar is better than the white sugar.
Right.
But
right.
I would say taking 4 to 6 ounces of that soaked. It can be raisins, it can be plums, it can be peaches, it can be even watermelon, melon juice, and you add it to your water. You can flavor it, you can keep it chilled or room temperature. Room temperature, I would recommend more, but most people in the summertime like to drink a little more cooler, drinks. Lemon and water, something simple as a half a lemon and lime. It's good for digestion. Okay, it's good for hydrating. For people that like to have glorious, beautiful, glowing skin, it's a great way to have that added in your body. Lemon and water work wonderful wonders. You can also soak ginger. If you want to have a nice little spiciness to it, you can add a little bit of ginger and a little bit of honey, just a little small bit of the honey to your water. So this is just creative ways to have alternatives to the number one on my list of the not to do.
A question in reference to the number one thing on your list, these are sugary drinks. Because at this time people know that that a lot of these drinks are full of sugar, drinks like soda. There's a lot of things that what people will call fake health foods out there.
We're gonna go into that. I actually have my number 2 is going to be one. But I don't want to jump.
Okay.
I got that on my list too. We're going to go into that.
Okay.
But keep going. I want to cut you.
Yeah, well, when we say we're trying to find something with a taste to it,
Right.
some people go to these fruit smoothies and they got this brand called Naked. They got different Adwala, these different brands out there. So I just want to know, in terms of sugary drinks, are those safe when you got all these Naked fruit smoothies that we're seeing in the supermarket?
Let's understand the Naked in Adwala. They are owned by Coca-Cola.
See, we didn't know that.
Okay,
We did not know that.
So you have to understand, every major sugar crack industry has invested into a holistic or Whole Foods arm, because the wellness industry is a $1 trillion business right now.
Big money.
Right? So most of the brands that we've grew up in the last 30 years, if you notice, even in traditional supermarkets, they say less sugar now. Most of the, Captain Crunch and the Count Dracula, and I don't remember what we was eating. So the sugar crack puffs,
they
Lucky
say
Charms.
now a lot of them say no high fructose corn syrup, all that stuff.
Or low sugar, right?
Yeah.
But what the hell was we on for the last 40 years?
Right.
Now you want to be low sugar? After we did killed us in the 80s, right? So that's the thing about the Odawala and the Naked are produced by Coca-Cola. So you understand that their interest is to keep the sugar going, right? They're not just trying to stop the sugar. Now, it's less sugar than the, concentrated sugar crack water called Coca-Cola or Sprite, right? But nevertheless, listen, I'm not dogmatic with the vegan natural lifestyle. I know people are dealing with transitions, right? So some people their first stop may be at an Odawala or a Naked, right? So I said, listen, we want to get the sugar down. So same concept. We said you don't want a high concentrated sugary drink. So if you're in transition, right, and you drink a Naked juice, let's say they have, I think, a mango passion Odawala organic drink, right? Hey, take 4 ounces of that and add it to a 16 to 30 ounce of distilled or alkaline water. You see, the whole thing is to diminish the sweetness. We have addicted to the flavor and the sweetness. So when you realize that you always have to have sweets, it's being triggered from an emotional imbalance. There's something in your life that's lacking sweetness in your life. And so you constantly want to rockabye baby yourself, because you're dealing with probably an emotional relationship deficit in yourself, not love for yourself, lack of love and understanding, communication for those around you. So there may be comfort foods, and sugar is the number one comfort food on the planet that we all have a universality connection to, which goes into, you was talking about, Brother Rich, about watching out also for natural sugary foods, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same concept as that. We want to encourage brothers and sisters, that's what I said. Try to, if you understand and understand that the concept of health is wealth presently in your body, right? Mm-hmm. Then you're going to work on building on your value daily. You're not going to, it's called no excuse wellness, brothers and sisters. No excuse wellness, okay? Because you don't want to be on someone's dialysis machine or have the rest of your life popping pills just to stay alive, right? So we want to get people, we want to begin to wean you off of the sugar. This is why we push the super mega greens. We push the green chlorophyll plant proteins, because what it does is alkalize your body, and it helps to detoxify all the sugary buildup in your joints and your bones and the dependency on it. And so when you have high levels of alkaline superfoods like the super mega greens and chlorophyll, what it does is it realigns and it cleanses all the addictive properties in the sugars and in your brain and inside your cells that are lying dormant, ready to be excited to have you more cravings, right? So we want to actually reconfigure that and reprogram that to an alkaline lifestyle, where if you have sweets, we're having better alternatives to sweets. We're not trying to say that you have to have something that's bland and not sweet, but we're trying to say that the majority of the sweets intake in a daily life will lead to ultimate problems, and we want to give you inspiration to cut back on that, and try to find creative ways, right? So like I said earlier about using a lemon or using a lime, preparing the foods with your hands allows you the holy sacrament or the religious or spiritual ritual in your preparing of your food. You're creating, and dining in your sacred meal, right? Because this elixir or this meal will be able to reprogram you into a higher state. And so we want to move you from the mainstream consciousness of food intake, which is, lining up to be a zombie in an automaton, and realign you to an indigenous attributes of food, wholeness, and wellness, holistic thinking, holistic living, body and mind, spirit of wellness. So we're not only talking about foods, Brother Rich, we're going to name here in the top 10 that you consume, but we're talking about overall foods in your consciousness, how you're feeding your brain. We come to Black Magic 363, we use the content to feed the consciousness, right? Your spirit, what are your spiritual practices? What are you doing daily to fortify your spiritual body? What are you willing to begin to remove to facilitate a higher vibrational consciousness for yourself? And then the foods, the liquids in the sacrament you put inside your body is a libation and honoring to each of those attributes. And we can move on to number 2, right? Okay. Was that clear?
Definitely.
I just wanted to give the more holistic aspect of why we are doing these things, and we want to establish value, brothers and sisters. Okay. Brother Rich mentioned, there's a big thing happening now. I'm pretty sure a lot of you see it in Whole Foods and even Trader Joe's. Gluten-free. Gluten-free is the big craze right now. And I wanted to hit that as number 2.
Big craze.
Everything's big craze, yeah. Right? And so, you even got gluten-free Oreos. You got gluten-free Ritz crackers. Okay? You got gluten-free everything, right? So, And so let's talk about, because I wrote some notes about that. So I would say number 2 on my list is being aware of gluten-free junk foods. I call it gluten-free junk foods because we think just because it's gluten-free, we could just go binge. Again, we want to have things in moderation, right? So the notes I have is gluten-free is all the rage these days. The problem with many gluten-free diets is that people replace gluten-containing foods with processed junk foods that happen to be gluten-free. So they think just because it's in the health food store or in the wellness bodega, they can binge on it. So these gluten-free replacement products are often high in sugar, unhealthy oils, and refined grains like cornstarch and topeka starch. These refined starches lead to rapid spikes in blood sugar and extremely low in essential nutrients. Once again, you're going into sugar crack territory. The same spirit place we told you about, number 1, which is the sugary foods. Again, listen, processed white sugar cuts the blood flow oxygen to the brain, okay? So the oxygen that's in the blood going to the brain and keep you real low and keep you motivated and energized, it cuts that. So the gluten-free junk food you're doing now is cutting that. And it's void of nutrients. It's void of value. Brother and sister, you're valuable. Build on value. Why put a relationship in your life, a food in your life that is not going to help build on your awesome, right? So that would be number 2, Brother Rich, on my list. And I'll say the alternatives would be choose foods that are naturally gluten-free, right? Like unprocessed plant and animal food. So people that are still in transition, eating animals, I'm born and raised vegan, 40 years. But for those that still eat meats, I would say, in regards to this, the alternatives is you want to eat free range, right? Which is, not a bunch of pesticides, inoculated animals, okay? Free range chicken, you want to get them locally grown, right? And you want to stay away from the red meats, so white meats, maybe turkey, chicken, fish, but this is all transitional. Ultimately, you want to get to the point where the meat, for the meat eaters out there, the meat is a garnish on your plate. Like when you look at a lot of the Asian brothers and sisters, vegetables and whole grains are the majority of the foods, and the meat is a garnish. So in the Western Hemisphere, where obesity is high, hypertension is high, the meat is the main entree, and vegetables, if they're even there, are small, and then starch is the second component. And this is why we have high levels of cardiovascular disease, high levels of obesity, right? So just a little caveat to check that. How are we doing, Brother Richard? That's good, number 2? Okay. Let's find another big one that people like. That's kind of popular with us. Okay, the big craze, Brother Rich, I would say number 3 is everybody's into low carbs. Okay? So low carb junk foods, that's the next pitfall, I would say, especially for our people that are working out, that physically fit. Oh, I'm low carb. But then they find themselves locked into eating the junk foods again. Once again, we binge on alternatives that are not nutrient dense, but nutrient deficient. Okay, let's go into the commentary. Okay, there are plenty of real foods that you can eat on low carb diet. Most are very healthy. However, this is not processed low-carb replacement products, such as low-carb candy bars and meal replacements. Okay? So most people, they'll binge on the meal replacement bars, right, and shakes, not really necessarily reading the contents to see, are they getting their, the daily amino acids, the omega-3 fatty acids? Are they getting their natural oils? Or, are they getting their plant proteins? Are they getting things that are going to sustain them? Are they getting their vitamins A to K on a daily basis? Okay? So most of these things, they may fill you up, but they're not necessarily actually building you up. Okay?
So like the granola bars? How are the granola bars?
Well, most of the granola bars gluten free, right? But then highly sugar.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to really watch.
Be careful. Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you an example about high sugar. So, starches. We talk about carbs. What are that? Starches, right? So starches, you want to eat them in low doses because starches do provide an energy spike, right? But you want to have them in low portions. And starches convert to sugar, so you don't want to really be ODing on the starches. Now, when you start getting, Brother Rich, over 20 grams of sugar in anything, that should be a concern, right? So you have things that have 21, 25, 30, 40 grams, 60 grams of sugar. Okay? So this is what you want to be watching out for. You want to try to keep that sugar content low. Because see, sugar creates a non-alkaline and acidic environment. It creates you to binge more. Sugar calls more of itself. So you think you're having a gluten-free diet, or a low-carb diet, right? Because when you say low-carb, you're saying I'm intentionally lowering my starch intake. That's what carbs are. So I'm trying to have lower sugar, but I'm finding these low-carb products that are saying low-carb, but because I'm eating more of them, right, I'm increasing my sugar again, right? Okay, so the note is these are the low carb junk foods are generally high processed foods that contain little actual nutrition, just a bunch of artificial ingredients mixed together and sold as food. Again, artificial flavoring. If it says mango flavoring, apple flavoring, if it doesn't say 100% mango fruit, you know what I'm saying? Apples, oranges. If it's a flavor, that means it has been genetically modified to signal to your brain that is actually food. But your brain goes, wait a minute, this is not. I can't do nothing with this. And then your brain isn't registered, and then it becomes sitting waste inside your body. Okay. Let me see. So okay. So If you're on a low carb diet, you want to eat foods that are naturally low in carbs. Low carb junk food is still junk food, and I just want to really stress that. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from the junk foods. So you want to dial back the candy bars or the over access eating of granola bars or the protein bars. They do have some with sprouted grains. You know what I'm saying? And oats, and the sugar content is lower than maybe 7 to 6 grams of sugar. So you want to read things like that are really high and act as a great meal replacement using whole grains as a substitute. Sprouted grains, you know what I'm saying? As a substitute rather than if you're gonna go for low carbs and high nutrients. Let's go to number 3. What's another famous one we have? I'll let you pick it, but I'm gonna give you some ones. You want to go? Let's go to ice cream. We can go to pizza. You want to go high calorie coffee drinks. That's a big. People like coffee. You want to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, coffee. Okay, so coffee has been unfairly demonized, y'all. Basically, I call this high-calorie coffee drinks. I'm not talking about the actual real black coffee,
right?
Because most people ain't drinking the real coffee now. They drinking, the remix coffee, the P Diddy coffee. Take that. You know what I'm saying? They're not drinking the Jermaine Dupri and Brat remix. They're not really drinking the original, right? So, okay, so. Coffee in its natural state is loaded with antioxidants. It's actually healthy and good for you. Okay, it has natural fat burning properties and also pure black coffee also in moderation, helps with colon. You know what I'm saying? It helps to really activate the colon, the ascendant and descendant colon. It's good. And some people in some parts of this country, the holistic communities, do what they call coffee enemas. You know what I'm saying? Or coffee-induced colonics, because of the attributes of how the coffee can work in tandem with the colon and promote colon health in its pure state. Okay? And studies have shown that coffee drinkers have a lower risk of serious diseases like type 2 diabetes and Parkinson's. Unfortunately, the stuff that is added to the beverage becomes the harmful sludge. Okay? So if your coffee has a ton of artificial creamer and sugar, then it is not good for you. Okay, once again, sugar keeps coming up in these things, Brother Rich. Sugar we just can't get rid of the sugar. This is what we're on number what? Number 4. Number 4? 3? We're in 3? Okay. And sugar is still here. We cannot get rid of this sugar demon. Okay? So basically, this high calorie coffee drink is loaded with liquid and empty calories, and will just have it just as unhealthy as if you ate sugar sweetened beverage called the soda, right? So the alternative would be, Brother Rich, to drink plain black coffee instead, right? And you can have hemp for those that drink the hemp milk. That can act as a creamer alternative. People that are into the almond milk, or if you don't want to eat almond milk, you can do the rice milk as a good creamer alternative. And yeah, so I would say, if you're really trying to get the pure attributes of that, and you know that you in Starbucks, let's say you're in Starbucks 2 times a day. Most people they live in Starbucks, right? Yeah. And they on the lattes 7 days a week. I'm not saying, what you should not do. I'm saying that, one, if you're going to be eating black coffee, you need to be hydrating way more. So to every cup of coffee, especially like a coffee latte or drink, you should be having 32 to 60 ounces of water within an hour to 1 to 3 hours prior to your drinking of coffee. Because the jitters and the overexcitement, that's your adrenal glands moving, everything's moving up. You want to be able to calm your body to allow you to get the pure properties of the coffee, but also the water helps to move that jitter along. You know what I mean? Especially when you have like a latte that is more sweeter than just having a black coffee. You want to definitely make sure you're hydrating before and after that. You know what I'm saying? Because the coffee and the condensed sugar concentrate is going to leave your body in a dehydrated state. Right? And if sugar is the last place dehydrating your body and stopping oxygen from flowing, that means you're going to hit a wall, you're going to have fatigue, and then you're going to start craving more sugar. Something with sugar, something with sweet, right? So that's something we definitely have to look out for, Brother Rich. Okay, let's go next, Brother Rich. The next one I would say, a point I want to bank up is that is very popular. Of what I have here. Okay, let's talk about agave nectar.
Interesting.
Okay, okay, yeah. Everybody know that, right? Because everybody running for. Once again, we in the sweet. It's like, do y'all see the commonality in this report? Everything is sweet.
Everything, yeah.
And if it's not sweet, it's salty, right? So you're dealing with a high sodium diet. Everything's extra salt. Right? Or it's sweet, Say it after me, brothers and sisters. The bitter is better.
The bitter is better.
The bitter is better.
The bitter is better.
Okay? So let's give an example of the bitter being better.
Yeah.
Aloe. Pure, nasty, disgusting aloe. It is nasty and bitter and slimy, but it's better. It helps to glow. Do you see how SupaNova skin just glows? How my soul glows, right? It's because I have the bitter helping make me better. Okay? So we are taught, and this is a camera beat, we're taught to have aloe as a topical agent. But I want to inspire you all to if you get an aloe plant, try to switch your kids as they're developing taste buds. They're like 1, 2 years old. I did it with my daughter when she was little. I cut the edges of the aloe plant off, and I scooped out the gel, and I started to, as she was teething, she started to actually like the aloe. And for the first 2 years of her life, she was eating aloe plants. Her immune system was strong. She had no cold. She had a lot of the sicknesses that little babies get, she didn't get because she had the bitter making her better. And I daily, what I try to do at least 4 times a week, I mix it in a smoothie, or I just eat the chunks. I have the slimy chunks, and I just internalize that. And that's natural slime is nutrient dense. It helps to align the ascending and descending colon, right? So most of us are carrying around 15 to 25 years of impacted waste, right? So the slime, the food, the slimy component in the aloe helps to lubricate the colon to help as you continue to hydrate on a daily basis and cut back the sugar, right? Then your body starts to come into an alkaline state, fighting the acidic environment, and helps you to be able to leave and let that go. Brothers and sisters, say, I'm letting it go to grow.
I'm letting it go to grow.
I'm letting it go to glow.
I'm letting it go to glow.
Okay. So agave nectar.
Hear that?
Okay. Agave nectar, these are the notes. Agave nectar is a sweetener that is often marketed as healthy. This is really big in the health industry. You'll see it all in Whole Foods, all over, Trader Joe's. It's like they pretty much have stock in the company where there's so many agaves, you don't even know the hell to choose from, right? Okay. Agave nectar is not as healthy as some people may think. It's a highly refined sweetener that is extremely high in fructose. Now we know, fructose is what comes from the sugar, the natural sugar we find in fruits, right? But this is concentrated. So high amounts of fructose from added sweeteners, not whole fruit, can be absolutely disastrous for your health, okay? Once again, fighting off you creating an environment and an ecosystem inside yourself that is alkaline, more to acidic, sugars, okay? So the agave that we see in these health food stores are high in fructose and refined sugars, okay? Whereas table sugar contains 50% fructose, high fructose corn syrup around 55%, agave nectar is 85% fructose. That means agave nectar is worse than the table sugar. Again, the table sugar contains 50% fructose, okay, plus the chemicals. And then the high fructose corn syrup is 55% fructose and the chemicals. But the agave nectar is 85% fructose. That means it's even worse, and it's even more plentiful and beautiful because it's all in the Whole Foods markets, and it's all in, the alternative natural stores, Trader Joe's and such, okay? See, an alternative for agave would be stevia. Stevia is a good alternative. It's not as popular markedly because, again, it's not as sweet, but it's a good alternative that you can incorporate in your baking goods. And if you wanted to add, I wouldn't even say I'd be adding agave to a smoothie, which doesn't make any sense. If you have fruit, if you're having frozen fruit or concentrated fruit in its natural state, you can add that to some hemp milk or some almond milk or rice milk, and it'll be naturally sweet. Okay, so you should have your protein shake or your smoothie tasting that sweet, because it's not healthy for you, for your body, right? So stevia, for those that are trying to get an alternative from that, I would say have that. It's a good healthy alternative. Okay, what number are we on? Is that 4? That was 5. Okay, yes, it's 5. Okay, let's go on. Let me see. There's another one that okay, candy bars. I think candy bars is a good one because we stay on the sugar thing. We are not stopping the sugar thing. Okay, so candy bars. Candy bars are, as we know, incredibly unhealthy. They are high in sugar, refined wheat flour, and processed fats. Okay, they are very low in essential nutrients. Processed foods like candy bars are generally engineered to be super tasty. When something's engineered to be super tasty, that means it's been manipulated with flavors or flavorants to actually allow flavors to actually trigger your brain to be excited, right? So it's actually pulling tricks on your brain. The way when they specifically flavor and engineer these things, they're focusing on your brain receptors responding to this. Okay, so this is deep when something is engineered to taste super tasty. And what it's triggering for you is to eat more. That's why we can't have, you don't want to have one Starburst or one Reese's Piece. You eat the whole pack. And you eat another pack and another pack. And your brain, after a while, becomes so numb, you become in a zombie-like state of eating more and more and more. That's why candy bars are actually in the trillions in the North America. It's in a $1 trillion industry. Brother Rich, we're talking about candy bars. Yeah, that's something that is universal. Okay, so we talked about, how the candy bars are designed so that you can eat them quickly. They've been genetically engineered to melt in your mouth, to dissolve quickly so you can have another one. You can't eat long. Like whereas Whole Foods, you have to sit, eat it, and kind of process it. You have a relationship. Look at candy bars as a quick fix, as a quick sex, a quickie. Okay, whereas Whole Foods, you gotta make love to your body and your cells, and it wants you to be present. She's saying, "Talk to me, let me know, say my name." Where in the candy bar, you selfish. You just wanna bust your thing real quick. You wanna get your rocks off. That's a candy bar, right? So that's when you eat a candy bar. That's what it's signaling to your brain. Hurry up and dissolve. Eat another one. Reese's Pieces. And what they say, melts in your mouth. Not in your hand. The reason because they want you. Oh shit! Another one. Hurry up! More. So what this does is the processed junk food makes you in your relationship. How does it show up, Brother Rich, in relationship? It makes you a selfish lover, because now you're consuming a sweet that has no nutrients in it, and is getting to a quick excitement. So now the metaphor of that quick ritual you're doing in your relationships. You don't know holistic foods. You have to have a relationship with yourself, value yourself. So therefore, it would need to show up in your relationships outside, right? But the fast food, the non nutrient dense whack junk food requires no self accountability. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what we want to check for. So a candy bar may taste good. It may cause some short-term satiety, but you'll be hungry again and again and again. You know why? Because what's it doing is it's psyching your body that you're full, and then your body registers that, wait a minute, nothing happened here. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get charged from this. We got energy, but then now we're depressed again because there's no nutrients. Again, the oxygen is cutting off from the brain. Now, interesting enough, Brother Rich, we're at number 5, and the common restoration to all of this is the greens. Once again, the superfoods. For those that need that, www.supermegagreens.com/rich. That's www.supermegagreens.com.
They could get a discount if they go there, right?
Well, right. See, we're talking about these dangerous foods, but we have to restore these people, right? So, Black Magic 363 is offering a discount for our supporters, a 15 to 20% discount. If you log on www.supermegagreens.com/rich. Support our platform, support our Patreon page, and support your wellness. So, alternative to candy bars. People don't want to hear it, but eating a piece of fruit, finding your favorite fruit, again, and beginning to build this value relationship, this whole food, holistic, whole love relationship with what you consume in your state of consciousness to restore yourself. For those that still have to have some type of candy bar, I would say dark chocolate. They had there's a brand out there, I forgot the name of it, that's very famous, but they have I think it's about 80% dark chocolate and maybe less than 15% sugar. And they use maybe cane sugar. They use organic cane sugar in it, and it's maybe about, I think there's no more than maybe 5 to 10% sugar. But anyway. The chocolate, the cocoa, the antioxidants are very helpful for the skin. It's good for the immune system. It's good for the brain. It's good for the libido. Okay, it's good for the reproductive, regenerative organs in the man and woman. So, dark chocolate in this dark, powerful state is powerful. It's when you add all the additive sugars in it, is actually when you create a negative, adverse environment, more acidic, and less, a wonderful environment called love, light, and wholeness in your body. Okay, let's keep moving. We are at number 5. Let's go. How we feeling, Brother Rich? Okay.
The Instagram family with you right now.
Hey, Wellness Salute family. Wellness Salute. What number are we on? Okay, wait. Number 6. Brother Rich has me on assignment. It says SupaNova to our family. It says SupaNova. Let's talk about 10 foods that we should avoid daily that are not going to be part of our black magic body. Okay, and number 6 would be French fries and potato chips. Brother Rich.
Say it ain't so.
French fries and
That's
potato
an American
chips.
food right
brother,
there,
it's
man.
an American staple, brother. Can I say it?
French fries.
Okay, but let's just go into the science. Can we talk about the science? Okay, so whole white potatoes are very healthy, right? These are the notes on number 6, French fries and potato chips. However, the same cannot be said of the products that are made from them, such as French fries and potato chips. These foods are very high in calories, and it is very easy to eat excessive amounts. Studies link to consumption of French fries and potato chips with weight gain and obesity. Okay, so now we talk about the crunch. What we love about it is it's a nerve food. So it's one of the top, besides sugar, it's high in salt, and the crunch allows you to feel nourished. And so French fries, like potato chips, kind of like when we talk about Reese's Pieces and candy, once you eat one, you just can't eat enough. You can't get enough. So you're just not going to eat one French fry and say, I'm done. The French fries are designed for you to eat the whole goddamn thing and some more. You know, and potato chips. If you got a whole bag, you don't eat a little now and some for later. Potato chips will sneak up on you. I could be talking to you, Brother Richard, eating them before I know the bag is gone, because potato chips go with the conversation. That's why they say, what they say, fish and chips, because you can be in a sports environment, you can be in a festival environment with your friends, and in the French fries and the chips will be going. And so what's the crunch? That's what it's a nerve thing. I always tell people, when you're eating a lot of crunchy things, sweet things, moderation is good. In finding healthy alternatives, we want to push that, right? So we're not saying you cannot have things you don't enjoy. We want to find the healthy alternatives that can be better to complement to your body, right? And everything in moderation is always good for you, better than trying to go extreme and all on either side of the spectrum. Now, the root is this: when you eating things to help your nerves, I always tell people, my clients, let's talk about the psychological imprint that is in your body, is in your subconscious mind. What is your relationship with yourself that every time you're triggered, you go to this food? Once you can identify the root of your relationship with the food, and you can begin to heal and check that, then you can better transition from the food that you've needed as a security blanket, whether it be a candy bar, eating sugar, too much coffee with sugar, mainly sugars in everything, right? Or too much salt for high blood pressure. So we want to just find out, brothers and sisters, as we have this conversation, is we want to use this time not to attack you and attack what you like, but we want to begin to explore healthy alternatives and to empower you to dig a little deeper. Okay, most people yo-yo on the diet, Brother Rich, is because they have never addressed what's in the subconscious mind that brings them to the low poor quality foods they call foods. See, it's not the food what it is, it's the relationship to the subconscious mind, and then feeling needing to rock a bye baby to what they desire. So basically, they have built a nutrient deficient dependent relationship based upon this interface called what they miscalled food. And this food is contributing, like a relationship that's deadbeat, contributing nothing for their growth and development. But yet, day in, day out, they spend their money, resources to serve them that nutrient deficient food, mainly based upon the root non-addressed relationship in their subconscious mind. And so when we begin to heal inside of our consciousness and our spiritual body and begin to be more honest of our process of what we're going through, then we can find better alternatives to what we're craving. I didn't want to go on a tangent. I just want to kind of give y'all a little more, realize that it's not as easy just saying, I'm just going to stop eating that, or I want to eat whole foods rather than junk foods. I want to let y'all know that it's the pockets, the nuances that we have to help our brothers and sisters through, because there are things that we're going through. Humanity all has PTSD. Let me just say that. All of humanity has PTSD on this planet. And all the other groups of families, a lot of our family, people of color, have different levels of post-traumatic stress. Because your post-traumatic stress not only may be something you share with your ethnicity or race based upon society and racism, but it's also the family you've been brought up into. You know, your mother and your father, their state, the state of your siblings, the state of your neighborhood you live in. All of these are adding to the environments to have you not feel value. And so you don't look at food as value. You look at food as a means to an end. You don't look at food as a metaphor to how you value yourself, because most times you don't value yourself. This is why we come in this show, Brother Rich. I always talk about, let's empower the people with positivity and possibility, right? Let's allow them to turn on the God and goddess within themselves, and so they can serve God in a nutrient way. You know what I'm saying? So when you drink our water, you drink your greens, you're serving the God in you to do the God's work inside of you, through you, and in the world. Okay? Yeah. How are you serving the God in you, or the goddess in you? Right? The creator in you. What are you creating in you, right? So I didn't want to go too much far on the tag, but the Spirit hits me, y'all know I get the wellness ministry going, and I just got to give y'all this love, because I love y'all, and Brother Rich asked me a question, and that's why I love Brother Rich's questions, and it takes me such in a multi-dimensional space, because I realize when I speak to y'all, Spirit tells me sometimes to get out the way with the ego and just give y'all that ministry. Okay, so wellness salute, family. So we were talking about French fries and potato chips. In conclusion, we talked about how French fries and potato chips also contain large amounts of carcinogenic substances, which when the carcinogenic substances can lead to cancers. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you want to watch out for, eating too much fried foods. Now, another thing fried foods do. The body, again, I have to repeat this, the body is 60 to 70% water. So when you're eating fried foods, like the French fries and potato chips, on an excessive level in daily time, right? What's happening now is the body has to now put water inside of it to digest it in your body. Everything to be fully neutralized in your body with nutrients has to become liquid. So the whole point of dehydration, which is French fries and fried foods, is no water. So it's crunchy. But your body has to put that back in. So when we tell you to drink water, you didn't even earn your French fries. Okay, so even a little bit of French fries, I'm not saying you can't have a little bit, right, in moderation, but you didn't even earn it because you're not committed to drink your water. We said earlier in our water show, me and Blue Pill were here, Brother Rich, we talked about, it was blue or red, we were talking about that. What's 20? Blue. It was blue. We were talking about the properties of water and how our body needs at minimum a gallon of water daily from AM to PM. And that can be like between 8 ounces to 12 ounces every 1 to 2 hours. Okay, just throughout the day. Before you know it, you have a gallon. But so even let's just entertain Brother Rich for people who say, "Well, no, I want to have a little playtime, a little fun time. I like to have my little chips. I have sea salt, and I maybe lightly, fry my, my red potatoes." Okay, so look,
let's go all the way. No, say I drink a gallon of water a day,
right?
But I like to party at night. So I go to the club, I drink on some Ciroc, some Diddy juice, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing open late, so I go to the fast food spot.
Okay.
I go to Wendy's or something, get me a burger and some fries. Is that gallon of water a day really helping?
Well, I mean, it can help more than when drinking the sugar water, the Coca-Cola. Okay? Now, it's what you do before and after. So I know people party. People like to turn up. There's parts in your life. I mean, you can't do it every day. You have to be a productive adult for yourself, for your vision, for your family, right? And what is your, to be a productive human is your rent you pay to be on the planet Earth, okay? So, there's a place for the turn up, right? So that's what I try to say. What's I'm saying? The environment you create before and after your turn up is very essential. So if you have a time where you have your little fire water, like you said, fried foods, let's be selective. So you want to diversify of what you're having. This is just for the turn up people. It's not for the holy, the owl, meditating, gluten-free, live food, raw food, folks. Just take a pause on that real quick. I'm talking to the people that want to turn up. Now, if you know that on a weekend, if you're disciplined in physical fitness during the week, and you're on your hydration, you're on your whole foods, you're on your mega greens, and you say, when I get to the club, I want to have a little something. So it's like, what are we having? Now, the Ciroc has a lot of sugar in Ciroc. The aqua, so the aqua has a lot of sugar. See, sugar is in everything. It got us, y'all. Sugar, I should have said 1 to 10. Sugar. Because we have not left this. So the reason, Brother Rich, let's talk about this. What is the main thing people like in a club? They love the fruity drinks. They love they don't love that real fire. Only a few. There's a demographic that like that real powerful alcohol. But the bar that's popping is mainly the fruity drinks, right? Or they would say the female drinks. I don't know what is a mixture. Throw something at me, Brother Rich. What they be drinking?
Like already sour.
All of that. Yeah. Sugar. Take another one.
They put the sugar on there.
Come on, see? Sugar. Yeah. Crack addict. Yeah. So it makes sense that after like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, right? Your body whatever little gallon of water you had in the day, it's a wrap. That's what do you think smart people do in the club? If they have 2 drinks, what do you see them drinking? Water. See? So they're doing wellness attributes even in the environment. This is just for the demographic like turn up. So for the turn up folks, do that. Remember, to every 1 drink of alcohol you have, so let's say that you're having 4 to 8 ounces of alcohol, you should be having 32 to 60 ounces twice, 3 times. Right? So basically, you're feeling a little buzz, you feel a little turn, water, calm down, get natural state. Drink a little more, turn, hydrate. You find that if you hydrate more towards the end of the club, and you're not out here litty, then you're not going to necessarily go to the after hours Waffle House and the McDonald's, because your body's now processing is rehydrating from the over alcohol, because your body was starting to be alcohol also makes your body dehydrated. That's why you feel high. You feel high, your body's really low. So you think you're high, but you're low, right? Because it's lack of oxygen once again going from your brain, and your organs are operating at a slower rate. You know what I'm saying? And so because really your body's in a state of dysfunction and it operates slower. And so we have created that as high culture. Our body's slower. It's not in the optimum God state. So you're not in your God body state. It is what it is, right? So the key thing is this. After the club, right? If you must go to the goddamn, spot, right? I don't recommend it, because the alcohol mixed with the fried foods is a dangerous environment. But make sure you goddamn drinking some water, right? And don't why would you have a burger at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning? The body's digestive system stops working at 100% when the sun goes down. So what happens is your body has to recover from ultra dehydration from the over acidic environment caused by the alcohol. The water's trying to put that back into your body, realign your body. You need to rest at that point. The rest can't try to digest food. So what happens is if you're eating burgers and fries at 4 o'clock in the morning and having 4 to 5 drinks with a little bit of water in between, then you go to sleep, you're going to wake over not only with a hangover, but severe indigestion, because your body still wasn't able to digest the burger and the fries you had at 4 o'clock in the morning. Plus, your immune system, your liver, your kidneys, and your colon were all being overworked because of the alcohol in the environment. So everybody was working to deploy how you can function with a dehydrated state. So listen, I would say this: get it down to no more than 2 drinks. So this will be my holistic salute to those that have the turn up life. Make sure before you turn up in the evening, make sure you have a lot of liquid. Have no more than 2 drinks in the club. Drink water before, during, and after. And maybe don't go to the 4 o'clock in the morning burger joint and the after party spot eating a lot of junk, because your colon is not, you can't process none of that. So I would say get some fruit, because the fruit's gonna now start to expand in your body. Not a lot, just a little bit of fruit. Your body's already overworked. So really, after you had a turn up night, you need to take your ass to sleep. Now, when you wake up and if you listen to what I'm saying, you don't have no fried foods. Your body still has to recover from that 8 to 32 ounces of sugary or / alcohol you had in your body, or maybe more ounces, depending upon how you turned up. What you want to do is you want to have the first thing you have in the morning. You want to have a 32-ounce glass of water with a pinch of cayenne. You want to have some powdered ginger, like a little, maybe like a half a teaspoon of powdered ginger. You want to have 2 to 4 capfuls of apple cider vinegar. You want to have that every 2 hours throughout the day. between 16 and 32 ounces of that. Same concept I'm saying. What's it going to do? It's going to further alkalize your body and get your kidneys pumping, your liver pumping, everything back into its state. And it will speed up the process of getting the extra alcohol out of your system and also realign your blood sugar levels. Okay? Because what happens is the hangover is also your blood sugar levels because of all the extra sugar inside of the alcohol. So hydration, having the apple cider vinegar, having the cayenne, and also having the ginger will also aid in your immune system being at an accelerated rate, and your colon able to process the water accordingly and distribute it throughout your body and throughout your cells, and to get all of the excess partying out of your body. So it's not just having, they say tomato juice is good too. If you're going to have tomato juice, which absorb, right? If you're going to have tomato juice, it's for people just on a basic level. If you did the V8, because some people just on the V8 consciousness, they're not on the other side. So on the basic V8 vibe, you'll add some cayenne to that V8, and you'll add maybe like a quarter size of ginger, and you blend it up, right? Make it a pre, and you maybe add to the V8 maybe, or whatever tomato pre, 8 to 12 ounces of water. You blend it up, and you add a lemon and lime, and you have it throughout the day. And then your body will start to absorb more of that alcohol, and you start to come back into balance. But you still want to hydrate on the basic formula I said earlier. So having that kind of combination, not having any sugar within the 8 to 12 hours after you turn up, won't spike because you don't want to reactivate the alcohol. See, one thing about it, if you turn up hard, you can reactivate the alcohol. Yeah, you could actually go from sober to drunk again, because if depending upon the alcohol right now is so laced with sugar that, remember, sugar attracts sugar, Brother Rich. So what happens is if you did what I just said, like just kind of re-alkalize your body, but you still eating look, we said gluten-free natural junk food, any high amounts of sugar, more than 15 grams with the 8 to 12 hours, you can find yourself maybe not in a severe re-triggered drunk state, but your body's in a drunk state because now it's going to trigger. It ain't fully got out your bloodstream. So if you're disciplined, Brother Rich, to turn up and detox, I would say find your rhythm. If you turn up without detoxification, this is when you create a body, you're creating an environment where your body can't function in its highest state. And this is why you have our young people walking around with cirrhosis of the liver because of the turn up. Okay, the skin, hair, and nails are bad. Okay, the obesity is not shifting, and the diabetes is really an environment that also an excess alcohol diet festers. So alternatives to alcohol, those who still want to have that type of energy, organic red or white wine. Okay, it may not be as turny-uppy, but if you still want to be sophisticated in that environment, you can have some of that. It's still closer to the source. You have some water. You won't be as litty in the morning, right? You can still wake up and function, go to your job, or be productive with your kids come Saturday morning when they're in your face. So my daddy, mommy, right? I would say that for those that are into ales and ciders, they also have organic ales and ciders. So they are, what they call vegan-based wines and breweries that you can get into. Pure tequila, unflavored with any sugar, not honey tequila or vanilla or coconut. Pure tequila, I would say a shot of that. For those that are really trying to have a little pump, add a shot of tequila, okay, with a coin size of some ginger and some pure pineapple, and there you go. Okay, because you're getting pure tequila, you're getting pure alcohol in this state, and you mix it with pure fruit. And then you got that ginger to be a gateway. So there's really organic ways and natural ways that you can induce the turn up without necessarily throwing yourself out of balance and out of whack. Yes, Brother Rich. Okay. Yeah. So because you hit me with that, and did I make my sense? Oh yeah, potato. Because we went to the potatoes. I would have closed that. Okay, potatoes are best oiled, not fried, or baked. You can have baked potatoes. Baked potatoes are really good. Okay, baked yams, I would say more than white potatoes. If you want to have the red skin potatoes, are really, really healthy and nutritious, and having baked. And you can have it maybe lightly, what they call lightly fried. It's still baked, but lightly the skin is a little fried, and then you have a nice balance between that. So that's a good alternative. Maybe some sea salt. That's a good alternative thing you can have with some fresh greens or some steamed vegetables. Okay, we on number what? That was number 6. So we on number 7. Brother Rich, how we doing?
Doing great.
Okay. Brother Rich, can I say number 7 is pastries, cookies, and cakes? Brother Rich, we back in the sugar.
Oh man.
Have we even left sugar? Okay. You said, brother, all I'm giving you is variety of sugar. Because that's what at the end of the day, that's what's causing the problems, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. That's really causing the problem. It's not that the sugar's the food is diverse. It's that the food common denominator is the goddamn sugar. The sugar crack. For those that are coming late, processed white sugar is the culprit. Okay? It is the unproductive agent in our body that is not building but destroying. Now, sugar naturally comes from sugar cane. Okay? But when you extract that sugar from the sugar cane or from the fruit, and you isolate it in an isolated environment, and then you heat it up, that's when it becomes an addictive substance. And then that process is what they induced in the cakes, the candies, and all of the different variety of so-called processed foods, unhealthy foods, and to make it addictive. Why, Brother Rich, we can keep coming back. Remember, it's sitting when the food is genetically engineered. What it's doing is telling your brain to keep coming back. So they flavor it and process the sugar in a way where you keep coming back. This is why certain packaged and processed foods sell out more, because they have timed and they have genetically engineered it to such a perfection where you're guaranteed to keep coming back for it. Okay? So, which goes into number 7. Pastries, cookies, and cakes. Let's read the notes. Most pastries and cookies and cakes are extremely unhealthy. Duh. They are generally made with refined sugar, refined wheat flour, and added fats, which are oftenly disturbingly unhealthy fats like shortening and high trans fats. And that's the problem, which is going to be leading to the obesity and the overeating, right? So, these tasty treats are literally some of the worst things that you can put into your body because they offer no essential nutrients. They have a ton of calories and a bunch of ingredients you can't even pronounce. So if I'm going to just basically tell you the pastries, the cookies, and the cakes, find the healthy alternatives. But now it goes into, we said earlier, the gluten-free. So find a gluten-free. Find one that doesn't have extra high levels of the sugar. So maybe instead of, we talked about stevia is a good example. We talked about, having... pure maple syrup is also a better example than the agave. Okay, we talked about the agave earlier, Rich, and how that you missed that point, Brother Rich. We talked about the percentages of table sugars, Brother Rich. Table salt sugar is 50% fructose. High fructose corn syrup is 55%. But Brother Rich, agave is 85% fructose.
85?
It's the most toxic.
Oh?
Yes, Brother Rich. And it's the most one you see in all of our health food stores. See, I had it too. I had to throw that thing away. Yeah. So pure maple syrup, you want to get into that. And stevia is a good example. And I'm pretty sure in the comments they're going to be rocking us with all types of wonderful other examples. One thing my mom did, Brother Rich, when I was younger, she'll take dates and raisins and she'll soak them. And in the water, she'll use the water, again, to flavor a lot of the baked goods. Okay, so that's how she was able to do it. So, again, brothers and sisters, that was number 7. And when I say stay away, we talk about you don't want to eat it every day. So, you want to have, again, the body is much active between the hours of 12 and 5. So your heaviest meal, or what they call your cheat meals, should be eating in that window when you're most active. In the evening time, you should be drinking more liquids or more fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and cut back on the starches. So, quinoa is a good example because quinoa is a superfood that that is it acts as a carb, and it acts as a whole grain protein. So that's something that I would have in the evening time with maybe some steamed kale or some spinach. Okay, that's an example. With some cold pressed olive oil, okay, maybe some sea salt added to that, right? And whatever you out there want to use. But that's something that's an example of a more lighter meal you can have in the evening time. And maybe your sweets, the people that love sweets, again, drink as much water as you can. Try to find healthy alternatives, but try to cut, even if it's from Whole Foods or a natural place, try to cut back on how much you have, because you don't want to become addicted to natural sweets. Okay, Brother Rich, we're moving along. Can I go to number 8?
Yes, sir.
Margarine. Brother Rich, that's pretty common. That's pretty universal. Margarine used to be considered a healthy alternative to butter. I remember growing up in the 80s, margarine, I can't believe it's not butter. That was the commercial, that was the whole slogan. Okay, so the notes are, fortunately, most people have now realized that this is far from being true. Margarine is highly processed pseudo food that has been engineered to look and taste like butter. Hence the slogan, I can't believe it's not butter. It is loaded with artificial ingredients and is usually made with industrial vegetable oils that have been hydrogenated to make them more solid, which increases their trans fat content significantly. Keep in mind that manufacturers are allowed to label their products with no trans fats as long as it contains less than 0.5 grams per serving, which is still a significant amount of trans fats. So they're playing you. They're telling you they don't have to label it trans fats, right? So you just may be putting the margarine on your quinoa and string bean steamed up. Right, thinking it's all good, and now you're still building your mind. I'm like, oh, I'm a vegan. How come I'm still getting my clogged arteries and get these clogged reactions? It's because you're still having that margarine. So, for those that I would say, one thing my mom used to do is she would take cold pressed olive oil and curry, right? Cold pressed olive oil and curry and sea salt, and what she would do with that is she would lightly heat it up. And then add it as a margarine alternative. And so that's one way, and I'm pretty sure there are other ways people can come up with. Another one, people, if you just use real butter instead from grass-fed cows, those that are still in the dairy frequency. Okay, so I'm a vegan, I don't do any animal products like that, but for those that are in transition, I would recommend that. You might as well, grass-fed cows, real butter, as opposed to an alternative called margarine. That's number 8. Okay. Can we talk about, Brother Rich, industrial vegetable oils? Because everybody thinks, vegetable oils are good because it says vegetable oil in it. Right. And it says vegetable oil. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this is number 9? 8 or 8?
I think it's the 8.
We're number 8? Yeah, number 8. Okay. So, number 8, watch your industrial vegetable oils. Okay, so in the last 100 years or so, people have increased their consumption of added fats. However, this entirely explains a drastic increase in consumption of refined vegetable oils, such as soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, and canola oil. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which humans never consumed in such large amounts before. There are many serious concerns with these oils. They are highly sensitive to oxidation and cause increased oxidative stress on the body. They have been linked to increased risk of cancer. So alternative, use healthier fats like coconut oil. For those that are eating, the grass-fed cows that have the butter, right? And then extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil instead. So avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil for my vegan people, and the grass-fed cows, butter, I would say those people who do the dairy use that. Do stay away from the soybean oil, the corn oil, cottonseed oil, and canola oil. Okay, because it's creating an acidic environment in your body, and it will lead to increased amounts of risk of cancer, and it weakens the immune system. Okay, so you want to stay away from that. Any questions, Brother Rich? We good on that? Okay, Brother Rich, can I go to this next one? I think you're gonna like the next one. Yes, okay, number 9, most fruit juices.
Don't say that, brother. Don't say that,
Now, Brother Rich, why not say that?
Oh, man.
Talk to me, Brother Rich. Before I go in, because I'm gonna go in. Why, when I said most fruit juices, Brother Rich, I think that's a good number 9. Why, Brother Rich?
Sugar.
The sugar, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, the sugar. Okay, let's talk. You have any more thoughts on that, Brother Rich?
Not right now.
Okay.
I want to hear this. I want to hear
Okay.
this. I want to hear
So
this.
this is number 9 on our list, family. Brother Rich, again, for those just tuning in, welcome to Black Magic 363. And Brother Rich said, brother, we need to have you on assignment to put together some notes on 10 foods to avoid daily that should concern our health and wellness. And so this is part of the list we're talking about. And I wanted to focus on the most common foods or juices that I know people may be consuming, whether they're vegans or not, right? So fruit juices, most fruit juices is my number 9. And let's read the notes. Fruit juice is also associated to be healthy. This is a common mistake, brothers and sisters. Many fruit juices are actually little more than fruit-flavored sugar water. Fruit-flavored sugar water. Okay? So, I mean, think about the gym. What do people like to drink in the gym? And this is no disrespect to my brother 50, but they love the vitamin water. They love fruit-flavored water, right? They don't like the real fruit. They love the flavor. So once again, if it's like what, you know, when I was in the 80s, my mom would always just say, if it says orange juice or drink, if it said drink, it was flavored. It was genetically engineered. So in the 80s, they gave you an example. They had something like apple juice, and they'll have apple drink. They made the fruit drinks much more cheaper and affordable. So what they were doing, they were phasing out the juice. When my mom was coming up, juice was it was less drinks and more juice. Juice was being phased out, and they were entering drinks because it was easy to produce on a massive level, cheaper.
Okay.
So the word drink became when we were little, Brother Rich, 80s, 90s babies, we started to be subconsciously programmed with drink. I want a fast drink, soft drink. What the fuck is a soft drink? You know what I'm saying? Right? Okay.
Tang and shit.
Tang. What the fuck is a tang? Right? Okay. So the whole concept of drink was to get you away from the juice, and because the juice will come from naturally a full, organic, non-genetically modified fruit, right? And so the more you were into the drink versus the juice, you are now creating a liquid flavored sugar water environment. Okay, so it is true that the juice contains some antioxidants and vitamin C, but must be weighed against the large amounts of liquid sugar. Now, Brother Rich, we talked about how the processed white sugar cuts off the oxygen flow from going from the blood to the brain. So that suppression, you get the hype, get excited, and then you crash. Okay, and because we get our babies, unfortunately, in our communities, they're on the sugar drinks, the quarter. Remember the quarter waters, Brother Rich?
Oh man,
remember them goddamn quarter waters?
Quarter waters.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you. I'm about to hit you in the head. Remember the 10-cent ices?
Yeah, I remember those. I remember those.
Wow, brother. So
nothing but sugar, huh?
Brother, there was pure sugar, liquid sugar. What they were doing, you have to understand, it was always, how can we weaken the melanated body? Fast. They tried everything. It's like we're still here. You have to understand, Rich, by 1991, the so-called black men and women in North America were supposed to be dead, because the way they said AIDS was going, they said that was the end of black people. And we still here. How the hell we still here? So what they did was they kept coming up with, remember, the second AIDS strand, then HIV. You don't even hear about HIV AIDS right now. You don't even hear about that. When last time you saw a poster talking about HIV AIDS? You don't even see them. Remember they were on highways in the 90s and early 2000s? You don't even see them no more. You know why? Because they're focusing solely on the foods, Brother Rich. They're honing down on the foods. If we get them on a nutritional level and we hone in on this, we already have their kids having type 2 diabetes at 9, 10, 11, 12. Most of their kids have autism, so it's working. If you have a young child that has type 2 adult diabetes, at 8, the likelihood of them being on a standard American diet and living to be 21 is 0 to none. They won't even make it. So if we can accelerate we can continue to push the narrative of no value of oneself and I'm poor, and I'm living in the hood, I live in the ghetto, I don't deserve better, and I can't afford something, but yet I afford the new Jordans, I afford the Gucci belts. You know, I never see so many goddamn Gucci belts in the hood in my goddamn life. The Gucci belts, I can afford the Gucci shoes, I can afford Louis Vuitton. But when it comes to food, I value my stomach at $2. My belt is $560. My pants is $2,500. The sister got a new wig. Her wig is 5 G's, but her value in her stomach is no more than I want to get the number 2, $5.99. Number 2. So what you put in you is worth $5.99, but you walking around with at any given time between $2,400 to $5K on a daily basis or a turn-up weekend. So this is all by design, Brother Rich. This energy was engineered and it's enforced. And they pick brothers and sisters from our community and they give them endorsement deals called music contracts or model contracts or TV contracts to push the narrative of external gratification and not the God within. We can't will God within because we're not even nutritionally power and efficient to do that. Okay, I went into the ministry. Let me go back into the science. Okay. So, y'all following, Brother Rich?
Yep.
Okay. So, fruit juices. Okay. So, we're talking about, in fact, fruit juice contains just as much sugar as sugary drinks like Coke, Pepsi, or even more. There are some fruit juices that have been shown to have health benefits despite sugar content as pomegranate juice, blueberry juice, and pure cranberry juice. Okay, pure cranberry juice is good for women dealing with any womb issues, sisters dealing with fibroid tumors. Okay, pure cranberry juice with no sugar. It comes concentrated. You can have 4 to 6 ounces of that daily in your 8 to 32 ounces of water 3 times a day. With maybe a little added ginger or maybe a lemon or lime inside of that, and you have that every day for the next 21 days until you go to your next appointment. And then your doctor would see, especially if you're cutting out the fried foods and the sugary intake, you could start to shrink the fibroid. Okay? So that environment, also aged garlic, infused aged garlic, you can add that to your daily water, will also help to create an environment of alkaline, alignment in your body, which is just an oxygen invested environment in your body, okay? Because see, disease can't function in an induced environment. It starts to die. An acidic environment needs to have less oxygen to thrive and to build on poison and disease. So when you're actually having more whole foods and cutting back on the sugar intakes, it's reversing the process where the festering of the disease can thrive. And so a fibroid tumor is just a calcified mucus in that area of the body called the womb for sisters. And if you can cut back on the fried foods, the red meats, and heavy meats on a daily basis, and dairy. Okay, and you have more plant-based foods, the super mega greens being plant proteins, daily fresh fruits and vegetables, steamed, not overcooked vegetables, having much more waters on a daily basis on from a 7 to 21 day cycle every time, and you begin to see your skin change, you can see your mood change, and then when you go to the allopathic doctor, right, the traditional doctor of medicine, they'll begin to see your progress. But this is something that you have to begin to get on a daily basis. You just can't do one time for 7 days and then you can change it. You have to really have make a wellness commitment. A wellness commitment. So we talked about the fruit juices, Brother Rich, and I was saying earlier what my mom did when we were little, is she would take like some you want to have fruits that are in season, right? Right now we're in watermelon season, we're in cantaloupe season, we're in honeydew season. You can actually take the honeydew melon. You can either blend it up, or you can just you can cut it up in small pieces and sit it in like a nice little vat of water overnight, or for like 6 to 8 hours. And all those natural fructose will drain inside that water, and you can add it, and that can be your fruit juice. Okay. Again, you want to, with your fruit, you don't want to have high grams of even natural fruits because it's going to make you crave it more. But whole food fruits are much better for your body and much more lasting to your body than eating the flavored or the fruit flavored drinks. So a watermelon is a natural superfood, has its own environment. You can even juice the watermelon rind, for further detoxification. So if you have worms, if you're dealing with parasites and worms, you after you eat the actual red watermelon, you want to have, if you can still find, because they still have them, black seed watermelon is the best. But you can take the rind and you can juice the watermelon rind, right? And you can have the watermelon rind juice for 7 to 14 days. And if you have any parasites inside your colon, okay, or impacted waste, it will totally detoxify that. Okay? Immediately. All you gotta do is have that line. So something like a watermelon has everything in it. It can detox. It can actually build up the immune system, and it's also good for brothers who are dealing with erectile dysfunction. Have watermelon daily, 3 times a day. The watermelon is a great superfood to restore your regenerative property, and for women too. For women too who have low libido, the watermelon is a great superfood. Okay. The last but not least, Brother Rich, can I hit you with number 10? Because I think that was 9. Okay, number 10, I think that's a universal common thing that people like. Okay, you got to go with the commonalities. Ready? Y'all ready? Yeah. White bread. Okay, see, I'm hitting y'all with the hits, right? Y'all telling me. Now, brothers, why did you say, oh man, when I say white bread?
I'm gonna eat a sandwich, brother. I got to eat a sandwich.
A sandwich.
I got to.
I mean, Brother Rich, does the God in you really love a sandwich?
Oh, man.
Now, you talking about Samson from the Bible? You talking about sandwich? All right, okay, so let's talk about it. So, according to the notes, bread is generally made from wheat, which contains the protein gluten, okay? For this reason, all wheat-based breads are a bad idea for people who have a gluten sensitivity. However, most commercial breads are unhealthy even for people who do tolerate gluten. This is because the great majority of them are made from refined wheat, which is low in essential nutrients, empty calories, and leads to rapid spikes in blood sugar. Now, we talk about how the wheat bread is the main thing. So they take the melanin from the wheat bread and they make it albino. They make it white. Just like white rice, okay? Unless it's jasmine rice. But most Chinese stores don't have jasmine rice, which is naturally white. The rice we're eating in the Chinese store is bleached. It's bleached. So they take all the melanin that is in the brown rice, they bleach it. They take it off. So any natural properties you can get from it is bleached. So anything that's the white-based products, that R.I.P. Dick Gregory, he just passed, made transition. He would talk against eating white-based foods. Because most white-based foods are already nutrient deficient and avoiding nutrients. Also, rest in peace of Dr. Sabi, who also talked about staying away from those heavy starch white-based foods. Alternatives, Ezekiel bread, okay? For people who can tolerate gluten, Ezekiel bread is a great choice. It's a better alternative if for those who still like to have breads. If you have breads, brothers and sisters, I would say make it lightly. It's better to have it lightly toasted than having bread just as it is. If you ever take a test, remember Wonder Bread we grew up with? If you ever want to take a test, take a slice of Wonder Bread, boil it up into a circle. I mean, we used to do that anyways, to play with the bread. Boil up into a circle. That is ultimately what's going to look like inside your colon. So in order for that tight circle to be dissolved, you have to have a lot of water, a lot of vegetation to break that out. So if you're eating that type of bread 4 or 5 times a day, Brother Rich, 7 days a week for 21 years, how do you think how much impacted waste you have in your colon? That becomes unaddressed, right? And in men, unaddressed impacted colon and overextended abdomen without proper digestion would lead to erectile dysfunction. That's why some brothers can't, keep it up. It's not that they don't have the power to do so. They're blocked. Because all the heavy weight that's weighing down on their colon is pressuring down on their prostate, okay? And that same effect can have an adverse effect for women in terms of the fibroid tumors, okay? So, brothers and sisters, that's my top 10 things to stay away from. Also,
what a list, man.
I just want to encourage you to, to just make healthier choices. And let me just run through real quick, Brother Rich, while we have them, to close out this segment on some healthy alternatives.
Okay, great. That sounds great. That sounds great.
Just jumped up a few off,
That
right?
sounds great.
Okay. So, And what we'll do, we'll just go through quick, and we'll talk about some of the benefits. So Brazilian nuts, okay? This is good. This is a good superfood to add inside maybe your shakes. All nuts, whether it be almonds, Brazilian nuts, cashews, you want to soak them, okay? Because they come as very hard. Most of them are protein induced, but they're naturally hard. So you get the better benefit, and you get them digesting better if they're soaked. You know if they're soaked if you add a handful of almonds or Brazilian nuts to some water, and they start to float to the top. Okay, that means your body, you can chew them better, and it's better digesting for you. Okay. Brazilian nuts are most healthful nuts on the planet. They are called, there's a name, this is a Brazilian name, I can't pronounce, I'm not going to play myself. But anyway, it translates to chestnuts from Pará. Pará is a state in northern Brazil. So basically Brazilian nuts come from northern Brazil, okay? They are rich in protein and carbohydrates. They are also excellent source of vitamin B and vitamin E and magnesium and zinc. Okay? Not only that, but they contain one of the highest amounts of selenium in any food. Selenium is a vital mineral for maintaining thyroid function. For those dealing with thyroid issues, having like a shake with Brazilian nuts or having raw Brazilian nuts soaked will help to combat that. Brazilian nuts come in a hard shell and are often served prepared ready to eat, making them an excellent nutritional snack. We go into lentils, okay? Lentils require a long cooking time, but the seed can be sprouted, which makes them ready to eat. So you can also sprout your lentils, okay? What else in the superfood? Oatmeal. Okay, so we have Brazilian nuts, we have lentils. Lentils are also for those that are talking about they're having plant-based diets and they want protein alternatives. Brazilian nuts, lentils, good protein alternative. Vegans, you see me, I'm on that. Oatmeal is our third, and it's made from rolled or ground oats. Okay, research has found that the fiber in the oatmeal helps to lower cholesterol. Okay, so those that have high cholesterol problems, eating oatmeal in the morning, maybe soaking it with some water, or you can have it in some hemp milk, some almond milk, or some water daily, maybe 3 times a day as a little snack during the day. It expands and it feeds and fuels the body, because the natural fiber also helps with digestion in the colon. Okay, oats are rich in complex carbohydrates as well as water-soluble fiber, which slow digestion down and stabilizes. Okay, oatmeal is also rich in B vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, okay, and potassium. Steel cut oatmeal contain the most fiber, so steel cut oatmeal would maybe be on the top of the list of trying that. What else? Another good alternative. Let's hit them up with these. Kale. Kale is one of my favorites. Kale is a very underrated leafy green. Vitamin C is high in kale. Kale has the highest level of chlorophyll out of all of the leafy vegetables, and the most protein dense. So when those are trying to have a salad and they don't want the regular leafy lettuce doesn't have as much, it's not really nutrient dense. So your spinach, which is high in iron, and kale, those are the ones I would recommend to really get into if you want to steam with your fruit, your vegetables, and you want to also have as a big component to your meal, right? You can add your olive oil to it, your sea salt, and you will get not only your high in iron and your chlorophyll content, but you're also going to get your protein content from the rich green phytonutrients in those leafy vegetables. And so I'll say the kale, and also side the spinach. What was Popeye eating to beat Brutus's ass, Brother Rich? What did he eat?
Spinach.
Okay, when he's getting his ass beaten, so he ate what?
Spinach.
And what was his girlfriend's name?
Olive oil.
Come on. Alrighty, I'll hit you up with 2 more. Avocados. Many people avoid avocados because of their high fat content, but they believe that avoiding all fats leads to better health and easy to control body weight. This is a myth. Avocados are rich in healthy fats as well as B vitamins, vitamin K, vitamin E, and have a high fiber content. Okay, studies have shown that regular avocado consumption lowers blood cholesterol levels. Okay, avocados extracts are currently being studied in the laboratory to see whether they might help with treating folks with diabetes and hypertension, which anything that God creates, I think, is anti-man's disease. So definitely avocados should be added to your daily diet, okay? Let's conclude it with this affirmation. Overall, it is important for your health to have a balanced diet and one that is not focused on one specific type of food. It is also important to remember that to treat once in a while, you can be part of a balanced diet and have a very healthful lifestyle choices by variety. Brothers and sisters, add color to your foods. Get into peppers, yellow peppers, green peppers, red peppers. If you want your kids to eat more vegetables, kids are naturally drawn to colors, right? So you can, the orange peppers and yellow peppers, which are very high in good vitamin C, right? Add into maybe like a strong leafy vegetable like your spinach or or your kale, allows the colors to also pop for you and for your kids. Okay, so have high color foods, high color vegetables, and learn to flip it up. Be diverse with it. And resistance training. I'm a vegan body, but I'll do resistance training. And every 6 to 7 weeks, you want to switch your routine. So if you have a growth routine, like a muscle growth routine, you want to switch it because your body starts getting used to the routine. So you want to switch it up. So if you start with little cardio, high resistance training, no cardio after, you may want to start with high cardio, and moderate to intense resistance training, and maybe at the end of your training, do a little bit of cardio. Same thing with your foods. Have fun. Let's inspire people to get back into the kitchen. My mother, Queen of Food, calls the kitchen healing laboratory. Make it a situation where you and your partner, if you don't have no kids, you'll have a date night in your kitchen. You'll prepare food together. It's a ritual. Have the kids prepare food with you all. Try to spend less money in the outside, and we want to create internal culture. Because internal culture allows us to reestablish accountability, wellness, health, and vitality. Wellness salute, my wonderful, awesome Black Magic 3634 and family. Oh, don't forget, please log on to www.supermegagreens.com, because everything we're talking about with this crazy sugar can be reversed with a daily intake of your super power foods to restore your bloodstream, your brain, and your immune system to its integrity and its God mind, and not the sandwich, but the Samson of the Bible that talks about serving God. You want to serve the God in you to nutrition and to awesomeness. www.supermegagreens.com/rich.
I want to thank you for coming on again, brother. That was a magnificent list. I'm going to listen to it again tonight, just to listen to some of the, like I said, some of the things you mentioned, I got right upstairs.
Oh, okay, right.
So I got to pay close attention to some of the, especially when you was talking about how much water you have to drink after drinking a certain type of beverage. Got to pay attention to that. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I know everybody enjoyed it. I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all log onto the website, supermegagreens.com/rich to get that discount. Also, make sure you go to the Patreon page, sign up. Thanks for everybody for donating on PayPal. This brother Rich, SupaNova, Slom, and we signing out, family.
Signing out. Wellness salute, family.
Peace.
Peace.